Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Paul Chased here, and today I'm going to be showing off my manga haul for the month of September and October. Now, I do want to sincerely apologize for being kind of MIA a little bit and not making any videos in quite a while. I've just been extremely busy with work, been completely swamped with it. I didn't really particularly have a lot of time making any videos. I have two full-time jobs. I'm a logistics broker and I'm a real estate agent. So, I mean, having those two tough jobs, I mean, back to back, it does take up a lot of time, and I just had no chance to make a video. So I apologize for the absence and the delay, but I will be making a little bit more time to make more videos. So hopefully that these long absences won't happen again, or won't be frequent. Now, to start off, I'm going to show off the yen press that I got in those 2 months. First one is Batum, volume 18. This is the most recent one that came out. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the last one, or I think this just finished over there in Japan. And I think it's volume 25 or 26, somewhere around there, which is the final volume. And still a good series, still enjoyable, still entertaining. I mean, of course, it's not as awesome as Battle Royale, but it's still a really good, enjoyable read to me. Next up, we've got Cupcake volume 2. This is still a very crazy read because of all the facial expressions that are shown in this series. I like it. It's very it just really grabbed my attention a lot when I first saw this and when I first began reading it. And all I can say is that it keeps on getting a lot more interesting. Unfortunately, again, this is Netflix picked this up. You can't watch the anime unless you, well, go to the dark side, which I don't plan on doing. So unfortunately, I think the anime is something that I'll never be able to watch. But yeah, you can definitely check out this manga if you can't watch the anime. I definitely highly recommend you to check this out. Next up, we got on my Kodansha lot, and the next one is Welcome to the Ballroom Volume 7, the most recent one that came out. This continues to get this continues to surprise me. Again, I had never thought I would really start to get into, I guess, ballroom dancing, or just learning what ballroom dancing is all about. But Tomo Takeuchi does a really good job of explaining all the things that happens in ballroom dancing. Again, this is locked behind a double paywall, Amazon's double paywall. Unfortunately, I can't see the anime, so I really don't have an opinion on what the anime is like. Other than, I mean, all I know is that it's animated by Production IG, which I'm sure they did a good job of doing it, but it's just a shame. Again, this is a really good read. I mean, it continues to get better, and I look forward to the next volume that comes out pretty soon, actually. Alright, next up we got Love and Lies Volume 2. The main reason why I got this series, I mean, it's an okay romance series, and the main reason why I got it is because of its kind of, I guess you can say, kind of unique art. It's something that I've never, I guess I really haven't seen too much. I mean, they do have kind of big eyeballs, but it's like it has a shonen feel to it, mixed with a shoujo kind of art style to it. I think that's what made the art style a little bit unique. As you can see right there, kind of shoujo look right there. And it's also the concept as well too, where kids, the teenagers, I think when they go into high school, are paired up by the government to paired up with their future wife or husband. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I like to continue to read this. I know that the anime, again, is locked behind a double paywall. No, I will not let it go. I got a big issue with the double paywall. I'm not gonna let that go. But yeah, that's the anime behind the double paywall. I can't see it, so I don't know what it's like. Next up, we've got Land of the Lustrous Volumes 3. This continues to get so much better. Again, the artwork is just still stellar. Let's see. I think I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna make a recommendation video of this, because this really, you guys really need to check this out. It's such a very intriguing manga series, a very new one too. The anime is in CG, I think, and again, it's behind a double paywall. Getting tired of it, but whatever. All right, next up we've got the only 7 C's that I picked up in those 2 months, and it's a manga that I've been waiting for such a long time. It's called Spirit Circle. Trust me, guys, don't let these kind of I guess you can say cartoonish and cute character designs fool you. This is a very serious, a very emotional, and a very kind of sad, and as well as just a very serious and sad series. It's about reincarnation, revenge. I can't really go too much into it. I definitely will make a recommendation video for this. This is definitely a must read if you're into stories about revenge or anything like that. But yeah, highly recommend y'all to check this out. The next one is my only vertical, the vertical I only picked up, and that is Ajin Volume 10. This continues to get even better. It really is. This is probably the best suspense and I guess you could say kind of horror manga that I've read, other than other Junji Ito stuff. But the reason why I like this series so much is because it features one of the most evil and one of the most well-written villains I've ever read. You guys should definitely check it out. I'm not sure how far it's gone over there in Japan, but this is actually taking kind of a long time for Vertical to release it. I think the 9th volume was released like 3-4 months ago, which is kind of a long time, but I mean, it is what it is. Alright, next one. This one was a gift given to me by a good friend of mine who had an extra copy of it. And this is Alko by Osamu Tezuka, which officially makes this my second Osamu Tezuka work that I purchased, or that I own. I haven't read this yet, but I've heard very good things about it. My friend knows that I'm a huge Osamu Tezuka fan, and she decided to give this to me and says, check this out, this will definitely make you think a lot. It's one of the more serious and dark Osamu Tezuka stories that he's done before he passed away. So I'm definitely looking forward to this, and I will definitely check it out. Next up we've got is my only Dark Horse, my Dark Horse pickup that I had, and it is I Am a Hero Volumes 4. This originally came out back in August, but I purchased this or pre-ordered this on Right Stuff, and it took forever. It took forever to get shipped. So what happened was I ended up canceling the order and just bought it at my local Barnes & Noble store, since I had like a 30% coupon to purchase it. So that's how I got it. This is nothing against Right Stuff, and they still do a good job of shipping out stuff and, you know, and providing good customer service. It's freaking Dark Horse that I have a big problem with. They told me that Dark Horse was the reason why it took forever for them to ship out Volume 4 for I Am a Hero. And they're having the same issue right now with the Blade of the Immortal Omnibus Volume 4, which is currently out of stock according to their website. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to take a while for them to ship it out, so I may end up purchasing it at retail. But yeah, that's Dark Horse. I mean, the worst manga publisher in the United States. But at the same time, they they put out some of the best manga series here in North America. So I have a love-hate relationship with that company, but it is what it is. Again, it's still a great series. It's just going to take forever for this to be finished. I I definitely highly recommend anybody who's a zombie fan to check this out. It's one of the best things, one of the best zombie mangas that you could possibly ever read. Next up, we've got my Viz Media pickups. The first one is Jonah of the Dawn, Volume 8, which is currently the only shoujo manga that I have in my collection, and honestly, it is really good. Never thought I'd say it. I mean, because I'm not particularly too into shoujo. I don't have anything against it. It's just I'm not into it. But this is definitely a shoujo manga that I definitely would recommend you to check out. I think what I liked about it a lot was the mix of culture in it. There's definitely a mixture between Chinese, Japanese, and Korean feudal culture in this manga series. And as a Korean, that's when I noticed some of the names were obviously Korean names, and I thought it was interesting. So that's one of the reasons why I continued to check it out. Alright, next up we've got Food Wars Volumes 20. This is the most recent one that came out. Continues to get good. I stopped reading the legal scans that Viz Media put out because I didn't want to. I think what's better for me is just to wait and read the whole volume when it comes out. So I pretty much know what happens after this. I think it's up to volume 22. That's like where I know what's gonna happen. So I don't know anything that happens past volumes 22, but this is still a good series, a good shonen series to pick up. Still a lot of fan service, which I have no issues with. I think it's pretty funny how they incorporate fan service with some of the cooking action sequence they have in this series. All right, the last one in the Viz Media pickup is Seventh Garden, which is an okay series. I mean, it's kind of a suggestive cover, but whatever. It's an okay series about angels and demons. Like I said in my collection video, I picked this up. I started picking this up because of the artwork. It's probably one of the best shonen artworks I've ever seen. A lot of details, a lot of just a lot of mayhem into this manga series. But I just recently read this. It's okay. That's all I can say. It's not terrible. It's okay enough for me to pick it up. That's all. And then the next one I've got, or the next 5 volumes I got, was kind of an interesting pickup. This is Rakia. All Rakia Complete volumes 1 through 5, and this is published by a company called One Piece Books. Oh shoot, sorry about the focus. One Piece Books. I've never heard of this company before, and how I found out about this was my friend who lives in South Korea. Here's an interesting story about this, about the author, about the illustrator and the writer Boichi. So the last time I was in South Korea was 2009, and visited a good friend of mine over there, and he happened to be friends with somebody who is friends with Boichi. So we went to a club. We went to a club over there in Seoul, Korea, and he introduced me to all those guys. And he introduced me to Boichi, who I didn't know at the time. I didn't know who he was, so I just partied with Boichi, and he recently contacted me because he knows that I'm a huge manga fan. He says, "Hey, dude, man, check out Boichi's work." And he's the one who reminded me, you personally met this guy before. So he introduced me to Boichi, and that's how I got into Sunken Rock, which is a really good seinen action manga series. And he told me to check this one out, and not as good. It's not as good as Sunken Rock, but it's definitely something worth getting if you like Boichi's artwork. He's definitely one of the best illustrators out there in the industry. Not as good as, I wouldn't say not as good as Takehiko. Actually, you know what? Maybe the amount of detail that he puts into is probably on the same level as Takehiko Inoue, but he's definitely one of the best illustrators you guys can definitely check out. But One Piece books, volumes 1 through 5, Rakia. And the final pickup that I had was actually kind of a throwback, and that is Love Hina, volumes 1 through 5 right here, and then alright, and then 1 through 14, the complete collection. So you're probably wondering, why did I get something like this? I got this because this was one of the very first manga series that I picked up when I was younger, and when I would go to Barnes and Nobles and check out the manga section. And this is the first manga that introduced me to ecchi and harem, which I know it's really frowned upon nowadays, but this manga series kind of holds a special place in my heart because it's just one of the very first few manga series that I collected. It's a huge throwback, really nostalgic, and I saw somebody selling the first edition Tokyo Pop copies for $40 for the entire series, and these are all in decent condition too, so couldn't really pass it up. And this is just a throwback to read, and that's why I decided to get it. I mean, I appreciate it. I know that rereading this now, yeah, I probably would not like this if I first experienced it now, but I mean, back then I really enjoyed this series a lot. It was just silly, it was dumb, but it was actually really fun to read, and that's why I decided to get it. Probably the next video that I'll make is the recommendation video for the Spirit Circle and as well as Land of the Lustrous. Other than that, you guys take care. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a nice day.